Hey everybody, this is Robert at Mayor Web, and I'm beginning the process of creating videos to help you through the personality spectrum. I had a couple of people ask me for this, and I really need to apologize for not picking this up earlier. I've been doing some other stuff, but this is extremely important and should have been done a while ago. Today, as you know, I'm trying to date my videos, but today is the 15th of April 2017, and what I intend to do here today, you know, this is just so big, trying to explain what's in this report. This report really just doesn't have a bottom to it. The more you look at it, the more you stare at it, the more you leaf through it, the more you look at other reports from other assessments, the more you just see massive amounts of stuff about a person. Just a little bit of background here. The PSA was created as a tangent of my doctoral thesis, which was on the 10 personalities in the DSM-4 personality disorder, maladaptation, whatever you want to call it. The 10 personalities that are considered as disordered in the DSM-4. So, and what I did is in my thesis, I created this. You know, it's really negative the way that the personalities are laid out there. If you score, you're in deep trouble, and of course that's what we're looking for with a diagnostic tool. But my whole supposition was that it's possible to take, for example, a borderline personality, and I really don't think that a personality that has been maladapted or disordered can be totally reconfigured into a different kind of personality. It's going to be what it is. I'm sorry, but it's going to be what it is. And that a lot of that is due to home of origins and things that happened while the personality was in its formative stages, whether it was childhood or early adulthood. Sometimes distorts personality. Some people have said that a personality continues to develop all the way to 25 years old. I think that's kind of late. Maybe the finishing touches between 21, 25. And I would consider myself as somewhat of an expert on personality development. I wrote a 370-page book. You can go get it in the document section. It's there. And I have developed the PSA. I write this stuff. So, yes, as much as I reluctantly hate to say it, I am somewhat of an expert on personality origins, personality constructs, personality maladaptations, disorders. I really believe that there are some key points in the development of a personality that can put a wrench in the whole thing. That, you know, I'm really sorry for saying this so bluntly, but those things won't be fixed. That personality has been broken. There's certain age groups where certain things that happen during those age groups, the personality is damaged. The good news is, and the reason for the PSA, personality spectrum analysis, is that we can take that brokenness and make it as positively broken as we possibly can, rather than negatively broken. It might sound bad, but that's the way it is. We all grew up in a home. It was not perfect. Really, when it comes down to it, the Cleavers were on TV. It was a show. It was scripted. It was written. They don't exist. I don't know of one Cleaver family. I hope some of you know what I'm talking about. The show from the 50s, early 60s, I don't know. But it's just this perfect family. Perfect families don't exist. In our day and age, wow, if you have a stable home environment growing up, you've got a gem. I would say in the city that I'm living in, 60 to 65% of the family situations are broken family situations, which will inevitably damage a child. No question about it. So, okay, enough of the ranting. But the ranting is important because it helps us understand where we're going here to some degree. And this is going to take a while. You know, the quick test education took 10 videos, probably about 120 minutes, maybe more. That was for a 37-item test. It's got 3 categories. We're going to be at this for a while. There will be a certification exam for this. When you go through this stuff and you learn how to use this tool, you are going to change people's lives. Because what you're going to do is put them in a realistic personality situation rather than attempt to do something that is not possible. The borderline person who is disordered will always be borderline. It's never going to stop. If you think you're going to fix that borderline, then you should probably not use the PSA. What I want to teach you how to do is to take that maladapted, disordered borderline situation that's just a borderline psychotic mess of emotional explosion and manipulation and control, and teach the person how to temper that, how to understand it, and how to make choices. Sorry. How to make choices. To say, no, I'm not going to do that because that is disorder. That is maladaptation. I'm going to do this. Still borderline, but this is the best borderline I've got. Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is on the test, so know this. There are 7 different areas that we look at broadly on the PSA. The first one, and just so you know, all of these results that I'm showing you are manufactured, but they're realistic. So what we're looking at here is the graphic summary. 3 things. And this is on the test. I'm giving away answers here. Watch this video and you might get somewhere. Personality constructs. And you see over here, personality constructs are blue. I just hit it. You see it all lit up. Optimal adjusted. For those of you who have been using PSA for a while, you don't know what that means because the optimal category here now is a new category. We used to deal with constructs and maladaptations. When I first wrote this test and got it so that it was standardizing on the fly, I included the optimal scoring in there, not even really knowing what in the world I was going to do with it, but I knew it was important in the end. I knew I would plug it in someday. Well, I've plugged it in now. There are a couple different kinds of optimal scores. We'll deal with those. Not today. In a different video. Optimal, I just hit it. Let's see. You can see that optimal is different here. For narcissism, we've got a construct of 114, optimal of 110. And then the last one is maladaptations. Y'all know what that means. If you use the PSA at all, you know what that means. And look at this. Okay, he just stands right out. You may not know what these things even mean yet, but by looking at this, you can see, wow, there might be something there. Maybe there's something there. He seems to be favoring over this a little bit. Schizoid, well, he's in basement. Avoidant, schizoid and avoidant, they're married. Y'all know that. They're partners. One is a cluster C, the other one's a cluster A, but it doesn't matter. They're married. Kind of similar in their whole understanding, and so this is kind of a valid set of results. Person is not really very paranoid at all, are they? Optimal's 98. Didn't even reach 100. So, graphics is the first section. Use it to your advantage. Look at 110 here. Boom. Construct is 110. Boom. That construct is 110. Look at this. That's over 110. You can see where the problems are. You can see where the other problems are not. Second area. Before, we used to do constructs and maladaptations, and it was this long list. I put it in this nice table here now, so that it's very easy to see. A, B, C, of course, those are your clusters. Organize them in clusters so that you can see your cluster scores. This person's got a wide divergence of clusters for the constructs. A couple scores here in C for the constructs, but up here you'll notice cluster A, cluster B, cluster C got to be over 120, or an average over 110 with one score over 120. Cluster A, B, or C to score, they're not there. This is new. Global Personality Dysfunction Index 102. You understand the skews that we use. 100 is average, 110 is one standard deviation up. This person's dysfunction index is 102. That's a nothingness. We're going to skip this because we're coming back to it. We're just trying to look through some of the broader stuff. Spectrum summary statement. 8 areas, 4 maladaptations, 4 constructs. We can go back up and look at those. We're not gonna. Personality crisis score 102. Obviously, you understand that's a nothingness. And then this statement that's always existed here. It's very helpful. It's a combination of maladaptations and constructs put into a paragraph. A dual construct score. This is a baby you've never seen before right here. And just so you know, I'm trying to race through the 7 different areas on this report. We're going to come back in detail absolutely every last one of these. Dual construct. Construct is the base of this person's personality. A construct is a score, whether it's an optimal score or a maladaptive score. It is any score in the narcissistic, schizotypal, antisocial, avoidant, whatever. It's a score. Positive, negative, doesn't matter. It's a score. Okay? The construct is what we look at. They score a lot. Negative, positive, or negative and super negative. We'll talk about that later. Usually I like to take the top 2 and combine them into one statement. You will see narcissistic schizotypal, the essential tendencies of this dual construct when placed under stress manifests a pervasive pattern of grandiosity that, of course, is narcissism, need for admiration, a lack of empathy, combined with social. Combined is the key word here, because now we're going schizotypal. Need for admiration, lack of empathy combined with social and interpersonal deficits marked with acute discomfort with reduced capacity for close relationships as well as cognitive personal distortions. That right there gives you a real picture of what makes this person tick. Okay, let's get to this. Tell you what, we're going to skip. Well, we're not going to skip this. Yeah, we're going to skip that. That's complicated. We're going to skip that. Psychopathology, we're going to skip that. Not that it's not important. We're going to focus on it. No need to even brush over it right now. In the previous version, there used to be a really confusing way of looking at this. As far as the personality discussion, that's all been fixed. There's 4 potential possibilities here. One is that a person has a cluster score. If they have a cluster score, that's all you're going to see is the cluster score. We're not going to talk about maladaptive personality because the cluster indicates that there's more than one personality that is really maladaptive. Let's combine those into what we call a cluster. The second type of report that you may get is maladaptive score, and we'll show you the top 3. This person's got 4. We're going to show you the top 3. Let's not confuse the issue. And show you the top 3 dependent. They're all laid out the same, absolutely laid out completely the same. Treatment protocols right in the middle. Just tell you how to treat it. Schizotypal and so on. We got another one down here because we've got 3 of them. If they don't throw this, then they may throw a construct only. If there's not a cluster, there's not a maladaptation, then we're going to look for the construct. And we'll show you the top 2 construct scores. If they don't have a construct, there's just going to be a statement that says they didn't score at all in any way, that we can show you anything. Which happens. And as the originator of this test, somebody who studied personality for a long time, I'm still trying to figure out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not really sure. But we'll talk about that. For now, we're 18 minutes into this video. We'll come back to the stuff we skipped over and deal with that all in the next video. So for now, I'm signing off. And that's it.